Super positive.
I had to put that.
You're right. You had to tell that to yourself.
No, I just figured if I put it there, I would, be more tuned into that, right?
I wonder who's watching the Nadal match. I kind of fell asleep. I was watching it. I'm like, I had to shake my head. I was like, damn, it's kind of boring.
Well, speaking of the Nadal match, Gasquet and Nadal used to play one another as juniors. I think maybe some of you don't realize that. They've played one another for a very long time.
Wow, 6-0 in the first set. Ouch.
He bageled him in the first set? Oh,
Now
man.
he's up 1.
I think that the head-to-head record is something like 17-1. And we looked this up earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
So quite amazing. So anyway, let's get this thing started. So hello, welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Today is September the 3rd. Are we on before I get started? Is everything good? Phone is here. Let me pull it up just to be sure. Let's go. Let's see. Is this it? And I think we're pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't seen it yet. Are you good?
We're good, Justin.
Are we all set to go?
Yes, we're good.
All right, so are the shoes nice or not?
All right, so today is September the 3rd, and what we wanted to do is start today with an apology. So on the last show that we did, and I'm making excuses for ourselves, the last show we did, we taught for like 12 hours, right? And we got up earlier so we could do the course and so forth. And long story short is we got home and we were so tired and we were like, okay, we promised we would do it. So we did it. And we watched it the next morning. And we're like, wow, that was kind of negative and we're supposed to be all positive. So we deleted it and we apologized for that, right? I think lesson learned, if you're tired and weary, then don't do a show, right? Okay, so first things first, the Nadal-Gasquet match is on, right? This is the first time I have ever seen Carla not want to watch it. Why?
Very boring. Just extremely boring. It's not even a match. You can't even get excited because Nadal is just rolling through this opponent. I mean, Gasquet is maybe a quarter of what he used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like maybe in the early 2000s he was a fierce competitor, but not anymore.
Speaking of Gasquet, has anyone ever seen Gasquet's the butt of his racket? In other words, the handle comes down and there's a little flare on the end. And have you seen his butt cap or how he sets that up?
Yeah, I find that kind of weird.
So have you ever held a baseball bat? Have you ever held a baseball bat?
Yes.
So the shaft of the bat comes down, and then there's like a circular extension on the bottom. So when you swing the baseball bat doesn't come out of your hand, right?
Yeah.
He's done this his entire career, but let me show you what it looks like in case you didn't know. So this is Gasquet's the butt of his racket.
It's weird.
See it? It's like a baseball bat,
Mm-hmm.
right? So by the way, Gasquet has a one-handed backhand, and Gasquet is also the last one-handed backhand left in the tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this saying that the one-hand backhand is a dying cause? Why is it? Why is it that we don't see that many one-handed backhands anymore?
I think it's tougher on the one-hander right now.
Heavy topspin.
Sure.
Heavy topspin on that backhand side. Ask better when it came to playing Nadal.
Mm-hmm.
How many majors would Roger have if he played with a two-handed backhand? Now I say that carefully because I play with a one-handed backhand. It doesn't.
I mean, there are some players out there that can really kill the one-handed. I think Wawrinka was a great example of one-handers that were solid, and his one hand was way better than Federer's, in my opinion.
More powerful.
More powerful. He could hit it from anywhere,
Yeah.
But I don't think we see many like him. So we see Shapovalov constantly
Open up.
Struggle.
And he opens when he
Musetti
hits.
struggles. Tsitsipas, in my opinion, does a pretty good job of it, but his head is not screwed on right. So yeah.
So if you have a one-handed backhand and your head's not screwed on right, you're done. No, it's really difficult to handle heavy topspin with the one-handed backhand. It's very tough because the ball jumps up at you and you don't have that left hand to bring the racket around the ball. My dad out there, by the way, shout out to him. He is 84 years young and was out teaching our kids today in the heat. It was pretty hot, and he got stung by a wasp, right?
I hope he's all right. It sounds like he's all right.
Yeah, and by the way, I thought you were allergic to bees. Thank goodness that you're not. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't have to give a Benadryl shot out there, right? But he, my dad, respectively, born into the game as well. Lifetime tennis player. He's 84. He always yells at us, and respectively, about a couple of our kids out of the 5 kids that play with a two-handed backhand, or we're teaching them the two-handed backhand instead of the one. So our oldest daughter, Liliana, plays with the one-handed backhand. And she's done it for so long, I'm sure it feels kind of weird to her to put a second hand on the racket. It just does. When I put a second hand on the racket, it just feels weird. But ultimately, the problem is us one-handers tend to slice or hack at the heavy topspin coming to the backhand side, right? So ultimately, we get in trouble with that one-hander, especially with someone that hits heavy topspin.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So we're going to do a quick leaderboard update for the fantasy teams. I just noticed you were looking at it. So we're going to start with that. So in first place, even though we compete, we don't obviously win our own cash that we give out, but I would be in first place.
You want to brag about that, don't you?
Let's go. And it's kind of hard to
You
believe.
should me. Like we did a switcheroo because I was ahead in Wimbledon, so we did a switch.
You think?
Yeah, we did because that's your favorite slam, and I was way ahead of you.
Yeah.
And this time I'm like in 17th place.
17? We had a lot of players then.
I'm in 17th place. I'm tied with a couple people. So yeah.
Okay, all is well.
I'm tied with tennis big balls.
So you guys suck that bad.
Yeah, and William Spencer.
So you both suck really tennis big balls. And are we live for real?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
They must be watching.
We used to do this on our anyway.
They must be watching that boring.
Yeah.
SNL match.
Watching Nadal like beat someone 0-0.
Tennis big balls.
Okay, so in first,
Who came up with that name?
I think we can figure that out.
No, but the name tennis big balls.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Interesting. I wonder what that person was thinking.
I don't know. He probably had blue balls that were big balls.
Your mom's not.
Oh, she's there. What's up, Mom?
Oh my god.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, so
Number second place, Mukesh at 39 points.
remember, JD won in first. JD won in first.
Third place, Antek Kaminsky at 36 points. Tied with Jose P at 36 points.
Leaderboard.
Blakely Prine at 33 points.
Not bad. What place is Blakely in?
1, 2, 3. Third, taking you out.
Okay. Now remember, even though I'm in first, doesn't matter. Scratch me off because I don't count. I just like to compete. But I feel pretty good about my best ever so far to date leaderboard appearance for the U.S. Open. Generally, I hit Wimbledon or win Wimbledon. And U.S. Open is generally, like the French Open, one of my worst surfaces to pick fantasy teams. And I ended up in first place. Oddly enough, because I picked a lot of players that lost in the first round.
So there's something that Gene and this is wrong because Gene and Tom Chi are not agreeing.
They're a little bit different.
Very different because he's saying Zhang ZQ.
But one might be after the second round and one might be after the third round, or it's currently.
I'm gonna send this to him and I'm gonna tell him they need to kind of get together with this because it's completely different.
Sorry.
So that's not mine. So I'm gonna send this to him because I want him to check it. That's why we have 2 people doing this.
Yep, exactly. And ultimately, we have all the teams too. But
and then I'm
pretty sure he's probably got it like halfway through round 3, and one person has it just at the end of round 3.
So I'm gonna send this to because they should always check on each other's thing. Okay, so Tom, before I forget, please, I'm gonna put double check. This is Gene's. This is Gene's score sheet. Okay, go ahead.
We'll get it. All right. Anyway, yours truly in first. Again, I don't compete for it, but I will talk smack about it. Back to the one-handed backhand for a moment. The reason why it's fading is not that human beings that are teaching tennis or playing tennis. It's not that it's forgotten. It's not that we don't like it. It's just the fact is when you play someone with heavy topspin and you're hitting a one-hander and you're not in front of the ball set and ready to go, it gets up too high on you, and you can't whack the ball from up here. You can back up and hit a moon ball, but that's a bad thing too, right? So you end up slicing the ball, and your opponent figures this out, and in the pro level they already know this. Nadal, Federer, head to head, and they exploit that weakness, right? So it's not that we don't like the one-handed backhand.
Ooh, 6-0-6-1.
6-0-6-1. That's ridiculous.
And Pliskova beat Benchik.
I picked her to go to the final. Oh, you laughed at me.
I'm still laughing at you.
I picked Pliskova to win it.
I'm still laughing at you.
Let's go, Pliskova. Let's go. Excited about that. Okay, so real quickly, I wanted to read, especially you gentlemen, a couple of paragraphs. Okay, so I was talking to my dad earlier, and my mind started thinking about a definition, and that definition is called the definition of a gentleman, right? We always say things like always be kind because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. We always say things like be nice, at least we try to. And I felt so bad when we did that show the other night and deleted it because I wasn't being that. Didn't you feel kind of the same way?
Yeah, well, I felt your energy was terrible from the moment we left the club.
I was tired, man.
Me too. I mean, I've been tired. We worked since Monday, so I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow off and Monday.
It's Labor Day here. Now, I've never understood the designation Labor Day. Labor means work, and then you're off. So I think they should call it we're not working or something day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me read you a definition. And this is the definition of a gentleman. And I can assure you that it's something that we should all aspire to try to do. So let me read you the definition of a gentleman. All right, quote, the forbearing use of power does not only form a touchstone, but the manner in which an individual enjoys certain advantages over others is the test of a true gentleman. The power which the strong have over the weak, the employer over the employed, the educated over the unlettered, the experienced over the confiding, even the clever over the silly, the forbearing or inoffensive use of all this power or authority or total abstinence from it when the case admits it will show the gentleman in plain light. The gentleman does not needlessly and unnecessarily remind an offender of a wrong that he may have committed against him. He cannot only forgive, he can forget, and he strives for that nobleness of self and mildness of character, which imparts sufficient strength to let the past be but the past. A true man of honor feels humbled when he cannot help humbling others. Okay, I think there's something I need to realize sometimes, forget it and not just always go back to it.
Yeah, forget it. Justin's terrible at forgetting.
I'm terrible at forgetting.
He always brings it up.
Zero.
He always brings it up, and then it's just that annoys me when you do that.
Sometimes I dwell in the past.
I don't.
You're pretty futuristic.
Yeah, I don't. Then what's the whole point of forgiving and stuff? There's no point then. Then you're not being truthful when you forgive someone. You say, oh, whatever.
It's hard to forget, though. It's hard for me to forget. I forgive, but sometimes, if I'm in the right mood, things tend to represent themselves in my mind. So it's hard to forget certain things. Don't you agree? There's things that you just can't forget.
I did that, Justin, if I did that in my life, then I would not be here. Put it to you that way.
I agree with you. Hey, is Lily there?
She's asleep.
Okay. Anyway, okay, so that was the definition of a gentleman. I think we really do as coaches and as parents try to be that way, but there's certain things that are really, 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 really hard to forget. And in the right frame of mind or the wrong frame of mind, it tends to come back up. So
not for me. I'm actually the type that if someone did something to me,
go ahead.
And it wasn't something where it was going to hurt me in the long term, and they were they asked for forgiveness or they had regrets, or, I'm the type of person that I would forget it immediately. I don't dwell in the past. There's no point to dwell in the past. Why stir up those feelings again? There's quite a few people have done stuff to me in my life, but I forget about it. I tell Justin, if I lived in my past, I wouldn't be a happy person. You have to move on.
Yes, I agree totally, but sometimes it's hard to forget, and sometimes it does dwell on you and kind of explodes at times.
I think
and,
things,
and
things happen for a reason. They're meant to happen for that reason, to make you stronger or to change the way you were going. I don't know.
I agree. We'll all try to be nicer. Okay, let's go to Serena Williams for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you all know that I admire Serena Williams. Let me put that right out.
Right.
Admire her. She is the greatest of all time, no doubt. There's no doubt.
You really admire her.
I admire her because she's owned the game for so long. I'm not saying I admire her as a person. I'm saying I admire her tennis game.
No, I definitely don't admire Serena as a person. Absolutely not. I mean, I love Serena, the player, not the person. I've met the person several times. She wasn't mean to me, but I know what their family stands for. I admire her game, for sure. I admire what she's done for tennis. Absolutely. I admire her for fighting, for bringing more people into tennis, for bringing minorities into tennis, for changing the game, the women's game. You know, I admire her for that. I think you sometimes confuse that. You think I admire her as a person. No, absolutely not. I admire the tennis player.
Yes, exactly. I agree with that. I admire the tennis player, but I don't admire the diva. I just don't. And it seems to me that this U.S. Open has been foreshadowed for all the other players, namely last night, especially Tomljanovic. So Tomljanovic beat her and earned some recognition, but instead, you know, she was kind of shoved off to the side. And usually, you know, the winner gets I get Serena's retiring. I understand that. I get it. You know, it's a big deal retiring. But the problem is Serena, during her, you know, big interview, even though she came in second place in the second round or third round, she didn't even congratulate Tomljanovic for beating her.
Yes, I think we have two members out there. Well, several members out there, but Jack and Karen. Jack is the son, Karen is the mom. I'm not gonna say her last name because you know, they're invading their privacy. But I think she mentioned that in her message, and I won't quote it, but she said, you know, Serena did not it confirmed to her the feeling she had for Serena, that she didn't congratulate her opponent. I mean, it was her last match. She should have congratulated her opponent.
Exactly.
Her opponent beat her 6-1 in the third set. She earned it. She could have gone away after having 5 or 6 match points.
Yep.
Most girls would go away, and she stuck to her guns.
I'll be right back, babe.
You know, and I felt like Serena, you know, as an exit, she should have not been so Serena-ish the way she usually is. She should have said, you know, tonight I got beat by a very good player. Thank you, Tomljanovic, for giving me a great match. I congratulate you and wish you good luck on your next round. But she didn't do that, you know. And I guess you get to see how really they are.
Yeah.
Because I've known that. I've known that very long ago. You know, I've told you guys a story where I met them when I was a young girl. My mom took me to Flushing Meadows to try out for Reebok. Her dad was on the court, and he was the one that gave me the tryout. And I swear to you, I beat all those kids there. I made them look bad. I could hear other parents talking, "Oh, your daughter's really good." And when it came to the end, he didn't pick me. He didn't put my name on there when I was definitely by far the best one on there.
Why do you think that was?
I have no clue. No, I can't tell you, and I can't.
Maybe you weren't in with the Joneses. Maybe you didn't have the insider information.
But they came from the ghetto. How can I be in with the Joneses when they're from the ghetto?
Exactly.
I mean, so that doesn't make sense to me. But thank God that there was a coach next to him on the next court that was, I guess I got his attention, that watched me, and guess what? He was African American as well, and watched me and came up to my mother and said, "I watched your daughter on that, and she was way better than everybody else. I'm putting her name in. Yep. She will be sponsored by Reebok." If it wasn't for that coach, I wouldn't have made the Reebok team.
Yeah, sometimes it's more about who you know.
And then I met them again. Coincidence. I met them again. Who would have known that my coach knew them? He said, today we're going to visit the Williams. I thought he was joking.
And was that your coach, Wesley?
Yes. I thought he was joking with me. I'm like, really? I was like, you know them? He's from New York as well.
Yeah.
So he took us to his house. He's like, by the way, luckily we don't have to be blindfolded. Apparently they would blindfold people before they went to their house, so they wouldn't find their house.
Privacy, yeah.
That's kind of
it's a little overboard, but yeah. Yes, I understand.
But you know, they weren't very warm. They were very arrogant. I found them to be. I found Venus to be very, standoffish. She wouldn't really say hi. I found Serena more to be the one that talked and tried to get to know you.
Mhm.
And I visited them several times, and I'm like, this is not, the type of family that I would
Yeah.
want to be around. You could feel the tension between races, by the way, even though they portray them differently
Mhm.
on the movie. There is definitely, I wonder to myself, how is Serena married to someone from a different race?
I don't know. We are
Because you
We're-
can,
I'm
well,
married
you
to
can feel that her parents were the way they talked about Nick Bollettiers and other people,
Mhm.
the same.
Interesting story though, for sure.
Yeah, so
So the one thing I didn't like though about the post-match press conference was this. So this entire U.S. Open and well deserved has been about Serena's retirement. Okay, so all the other players are, even though they won, are sitting in their chair waiting for a chance to address the crowd. But during the press conference or the post-match interview on the court, Chris Evert, I think it was Chris Evert. I'm fairly certain. Correct me if I'm wrong. Chris Evert was the one asking the questions, like, hey, da, 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 da. And the question was,
it was Mary Jo Fernandez.
Mary Jo Fernandez, was it? Okay, I think
Yeah.
it was Chris Evert though last night. I think for this occasion it was Chris Evert. I was up, I was watching it. So the question was postulated that, hey Serena, are you sure this is your last tournament? And she didn't answer the question. She was like, oh, never say never type thing. So what I'm saying is this tournament has forgotten at this point about all the other players, and we're talking about one, and that's fine. But there are other players. It takes two people to play tennis. There has to be an opponent over there, and the opponent that got shoved off to the side last night actually won. And by the way, Tomljanovic has been on tour for a while. It's a big win for her.
And I said she would beat her. I thought she would, just because I figure Kontaveit would be, she would beat Kontaveit just because she's really not a number 2 player.
Yeah.
But Tomljanovic, to me, the reason I put on my draw, and I showed it on the first show, you can see it if you go back. I said she's very consistent. She's been a very consistent tennis player throughout the whole year and last year. Very consistent. So Grand Slam, one thing I noticed about her is she can go to 3 sets and she can outlast her opponents.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought Serena didn't have a chance. I think I even said it last night's clinic. She's 40. She's overweight. She's, she really hasn't played tennis. It's going to be tough for her to beat Tomljanovic on the third set.
Yeah.
And she was losing the second set when I said that.
Yeah.
Even if she comes back, I said, I can't imagine I'm older than her having to battle, with all that weight, trying to win the match. And 6-1, it proved it.
Well, before the tournament started, when we were doing our fantasy teams, you did your bracket and you called that out before it even started. I think Serena will beat Kontaveit because you don't particularly care for her or her game.
Well, I didn't think she was a true number 2.
Exactly. We talked about that. Do you think Anett Kontaveit is a true number 2? If we went back to, say, the era with Graf or the era with Henin or the earlier era with Serena when there was her sister around and a scattering of others, do you think Kontaveit's a true number 2? Carlos always said no, and I really wanted to manifest the idea that she is. But the more and more she plays these top players, and Serena's not a top player at this point, the more and more she loses them, the more I agree with you in that I feel like Anett Kontaveit is not a true number 2 player.
Right.
She's kind of like Wozniacki, but less one major.
Well, she really hasn't had a good year, and that's why I thought Serena's going to beat her. But I said Tomljanovic, she's had so much experience, especially playing 3-setters. We've seen her play many 3-setters. I said that's going to be tough.
Yeah. And so every morning I have this routine. So we get up, between 4:30 and 5:30 in the morning, somewhere in there every day.
Please don't wake me up tomorrow early as 5:30.
Well, okay. So in the morning, I will do my best. So in the morning, there's 3 little shows that I record. 1 is the local news, 2 is the world news, and 3 is Sports Center on ESPN.
This is when you know you're getting old, guys.
What?
When you're recording the news, Sports Center, and more news.
Let's go.
That's when you know you're getting old.
Oh, and by the way, you notice at the club today, we had a busy day, but I'm just saying in terms of the other courts, they were relatively empty. I just remembered something right now. College football started today.
Big deal.
Is anyone out there a college football fan?
Big deal.
If so, what team do you like? I'm curious about this. American football, not soccer, but football.
Big deal.
I'm curious. I think Auburn played, I forgot. Alabama played like Utah State. I wonder what the scores were. It was probably pretty bad both ways. Those are like warm-up games.
Mm-hmm.
It's like.
I don't know. I'm not into. I'm not into the college football, so I don't understand it. I don't understand what you guys go through, or, how crazy you guys get. But I do know it was also Labor Day weekend, so a lot of people left town.
Well, I don't get crazy over college football.
No, I won't.
I love my 49ers. I'm an NFL
But
fan.
I know a lot of people left town.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, the college football next week is going to be even about the same. They go to state, to Dothan.
Do you know what the answer is? You know what the answer is to rectify that at Mirror Lake? Is a working Roku. Because we have a TV there, we have power, we just don't have a solid signal. So a Roku, I think, would work, right?
We need a TV outside. You know what they said? That would be a good idea. Put the TV up there. You know where the wasps are?
Mm-hmm.
Put a TV up there. People come.
And have it like our neighbors do, where you can take it on and off the wall.
Yes,
So you put it up and take it down.
That's what we really should put.
Let's go. We should do that for Christmas. We should mount a TV on the wall, like in between the bathrooms or something. Or
no, right there. You know where everybody sits? You put it up there, right there on the corner. That would be perfect. Mike Sellers can eat his peanuts.
Like where the camera is?
No, on the opposite side, on that corner.
Okay.
And like hang it there.
I think rain might hit it though.
You remove it.
Okay. If it rains, take the TV down.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I guarantee you that would be a hit.
We need to find like
I bet you.
TV mount that
I bet
just
you
release.
someone like Mike can figure that out.
All right, we're gonna put Mike Sellers up to the duty.
We should ask him. I guarantee you he would love that.
Okay, finishing the Serena Williams topic again. She's the GOAT, no doubt, but I do not like how she has single-handedly turned this U.S. Open into not the U.S. Open, but the Serena show.
You know,
and there's not really a show to watch.
At the end of the day, though, I said my opinion on one thing. At the end of the day, though, she is the greatest. She did change tennis. Her and her sisters. I did like the fact that she congratulated her sister. She or said to her sister, "Without you, there wouldn't be a Serena." And you saw Venus tearing up. I mean, I have seen when Connors retired, Chris Evert, Martina Navratilova, them making a big celebration and kind of the winner had to sit down. I have seen that. So Serena is a big deal. I understand why they did it. Not only that, those tickets were a lot of money. For those of you that were crazy enough to pay that much money to watch her, I wouldn't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She brought a lot of money that they need, that the USTA needs. As a matter of fact, I got an email, USTA thanking Serena. I've never seen that in my life.
Yep.
Thanking a pro player for her career.
Carla.
You know what I mean? They brought a lot of money. I bet you they made a lot of money with her matches. They gave her all night matches because if they would have given her day matches, she would have been in trouble.
Or she would have yelled at somebody.
No, she would have been too hot to move.
Yeah, whatever.
So they gave her all night matches. Do you know how much they probably sold on the concessions, the restaurants?
And the ticket price is jack sky high.
Ticket price, they made a lot of money with her. So for her to lose was a big loss for them.
So we have a friend of ours and a good tennis player and his mom, Jack, and I forgot his mother's name.
Karen.
Okay, so they're
I have pictures.
So they're at the U.S. Open, and they sent us some pictures and a couple little videos, and we're going to show those. But needless to say, that's not where I'm going with this. I'm going to throw out a conspiracy theory, and you tell me if this is bullshit or not. Sorry, didn't mean to say that, but in all good fun. So the USTA is significantly in arrears in terms of the roof and where they need to be monetarily. So what better way than to say, hey, Serena, let's play this U.S. Open where you say you're going to retire, and that'll drive our tickets prices up to $6,000 a piece in the very top of Arthur Ashe. Been to Arthur Ashe Stadium multiple times. In the very top up there, I watched Federer and Djokovic 1 year, 2007, and then Federer Murray in 2008. And that very top section up there, I would have rather been, and I went down to the courtyard where the concessions were. There's like a Heineken place and places you get. There's like 30 places there. Anyway, but I went down there because where the fountains are, right in front of Arthur Ashe, where the fountains are shooting up, there's a big flat screen there, and you can see a whole lot better than Roger Federer looking like an ant. So before Serena announced her retirement, the tickets for upper level Arthur Ashe were like $50, $75. Once she announced retirement, and then that whole energy of oh no began, some of those tickets up there jumped to the thousands.
Yeah, I think Jack sent me a message, and he sent me the proof. It was about $10,000.
$10,000.
He paid $300
for a ticket up there.
They paid about $300, and the ticket would jump up to $10,000.
$10,000.
But here's some good pictures. This is Casper Ruud. I love the serve, the way the serve is. That is the correct form for you guys out there that are learning how to serve. Do you see how far back his racket is?
He's
how
loose. He's
how
loose.
he's going up after? This is a shot that Karen sent me.
Yeah, now this is a live. This isn't off the internet. This is actually from the U.S. Open. They're sending us throughout the day.
And
today.
then his follow through. Look how deep inside of the court he is after he serves, which I thought, what a great picture, you know. And then I'm not gonna show the videos because they might take long. Here's Tommy Paul. Great setup, by the way. Look at the setup right there. He's down low.
Low.
I love it. For you guys that are junior players, look at his legs. They're not standing up straight.
And when I see pictures like that, there's someone
which tells me that they know about tennis.
Yeah.
Because if they took this picture, to me, it's telling me, you know what? They actually understand the game.
Isn't
There's Tommy Paul again?
Isn't there a local person that instructs kids that teaches them to lift and jump into their shot?
Now here, I would have to complain a little bit about this picture. I feel like Tommy Paul is a little bit too open on his serve. His elbow should be a little bit more tucked in, so which is probably the reason why he's not a top player. You know?
Yep.
Let's go to another one.
Well, and plus, Tommy Paul went through the college ranks. I think he played D1, didn't he?
I love this. Great on Serena. Here's a beautiful picture of Serena. She's going up. She's looking up. Look at that.
Oh, they were courtside during the Serena match?
Yes.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's a picture
Good
of her.
seats.
And so Mike Walker, look, she's not as thin, right? Here's another picture of her. They were right there, up front. Show more pictures.
That's great.
They sent me a whole bunch. They sent me a whole bunch of pictures.
Thank you for thinking about us.
She's a big lady, by the way.
She's always been a big lady, but now it's just a little bit more out of shape.
Let's see. They sent me a. Let's see what here they sent me. Okay, that's a little video. Good. Here's the serve. She's going up. She's going up after it. That's an awesome picture. Look at that. I mean, it's perfect. Look at that. Look at the height.
Yeah, that's a great picture.
Look at the height she has. She's off the ground, which is the reason why she was one of the best servers, right?
Yep.
See? Let's go back up. And then she says Shelton, Eubanks, Senego.
That's outside courts. That's like
practice court. So
that's like court 14. I think I hit with Justine Hinnon on those courts. And her
so this looks like Berrettini.
I think that's court 14.
Looks like a Berrettini to me.
Yeah, that's 14 for sure.
So
yeah, that's definitely 14.
She's filming a whole bunch of players. That looks like Coco Gauff to me. Yep, that's her backhand right there. I didn't see some of these. Good pictures. Here we go. Here's what happens when you have a full Western grip. He's got some guns on him, huh?
Who is that?
Berrettini.
Can we freeze right there just for a moment?
Sure.
Because this applies to that picture. Show that picture again.
Full Western grip. This is what happens.
Okay, freeze there. So this is the full Western grip where the hand is underneath the handle. So in other words, my knuckle is on the underside of the racket handle. A lot of times if we hit the full Western grip, we end up tight in here. Yeah, so when I come around,
he's tight for sure.
When I come around, we're tight here. Now, this was actually a topic I had written in, so let's bring it out there at this point. Your overall thoughts on hitting a full Western. If you're a player coach, however, generally, if it's, most players that hit with the full Western, they tend to be tight in here coming around. They're not really fluid stretching out. Now, who is one person in our direct family that we have this problem with? Lily.
I have a full Western grip.
But you extend.
Well, I extend. I know that. I've adjusted. Maybe as a junior, I didn't do it, but I've learned that I cannot keep my arm tucked in. If I want to hit through the shot, I must extend my arm. So I always tell her, please watch people that play with full Western that actually extend their arm. I said, watch me as I hit. Not that I'm bragging about myself, but I said, watch me. Every time I hit, I'm tight. But I know once I make contact, my arm's out here, even with my grip. And I don't dip my racket. So I've noticed that a lot of full Westerns, they completely, I don't. I tell myself, keep the racket up no matter what with your grip and go push through it.
Yeah.
So I think she'll eventually learn that.
So Anna Davis out there has a good comment. She says, quote, you have a good possible theory there. She may make a return someday with a slim and more fit body. People will pay thousands for that for sure. But I'm not saying that she's not retiring. But when she was asked that question after the match, in which they stuck Tomjanovich over there in the corner, and she won. She was asked the question, so is this your last tournament? And I don't want to say quote unquote, because I want to get, if I'm quoting, I want the words to be exact. But it was along those lines. Is this your last tournament? She was like rolling her eyes. Well, I don't know. But yet you are driving ticket prices through the roof and making this a Serena show. This isn't a Serena show. This is the U.S. Open, and there's 128 players in the men's draw, 128 players in the women's draw, and they're all fighting for survival. I just think it's unfair to all the players. You know, you could do that in your press conference afterwards in the news, and you know when the reporters are asking you questions, do you have your time to speak? But I find it diva-ish and shallow to take away the limelight from the girl that just beat her and the third set decisively. And we didn't even acknowledge her existence.
I agree. So here's I'm going to keep showing more pictures. This is Karen and her son, Jack.
Oh, let me see. Oh, he's got the Mirror Lake shirt on.
He's wearing the Mirror Lake shirt. Thanks,
Let's
Jack,
go,
for
Jack.
representing.
Let's go, Jack.
His mom looks very pretty.
Let me see that. And they're a tennis family, too. Let's check that shirt out. So we had these shirts made when we first got to Mirror Lake. So you can see Mirror Lake there on the front. And I think they're both playing doubles together.
Yes, they're playing.
At our upcoming tournament, right?
Yes. So let me show more pictures. Let me go back to that Berrettini picture, which is right here. Okay, here you go. So we always said Berrettini's backhand not good. I could tell why. Racket is up too high, in my opinion. Even if he followed through, it's way up too high.
And he's pretty tight there.
Yeah, he's tight. And this is where the better backhand is, right here. Coco Gauff. That's a much better backhand.
Coco Gauff could win this tournament.
Her angle is very good right there. That's a good angle right there.
Yeah.
That's good.
Coco Gauff could very well win this U.S. Open. And if so, I would be elated. I would be very happy. She's a fun girl. She's humble. She's outgoing.
Pegula and Yuan, which she got bagel. She got bagel in the third set. Yuan got, but good for her for putting up 3 sets.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a lot of you have picked Pegula to make the final. By the way, for the $700 cash, there are 3 people left. So if you all, I guess, follow the games that we do for prizes, we do where people select their predictions for the men's final and their predictions for the women's final, and both winners. And if you nail that, you get the pot of cash. And for this major, we put up $700 US payable immediately. And there are 3 people left. My notebook's there. I forgot to bring it. Let me grab it, and I'll tell you the 3 people that are left.
Here's a picture of Tiafoe. Here's a full Western grip. But Tiafoe actually extends his arm, which is very good, even though his follow-through is kind of funky. Here's a picture of Alcaraz, who destroyed Brooksby today. Going up after his serve. Very good. Here he is. There you go, guys. For those of you that serve, this is exactly how it should look like. It's like you're throwing a ball over. Okay?
I'm dropping pins left and right.
Yep, you are. Let's see. Here's Nick Kyrgios, which I don't care for. They were pretty close to him there. He was practicing. There's him he's got a full Western grip too. Look.
Yeah, and he's pretty tight in there too. If you look at that, his elbow's pretty tight to his abdomen.
There's his full Western grip. Very tight, but he makes it work.
It's tight because he whips.
His take back is not long, that's why.
Okay, so
and there's my boy Nadal. They couldn't get close enough. So let's see. There's Nadal serving. You can tell that's Nadal.
And Jack is out. Okay, I take that back. There's only 2 people left at the $700, and here they are. And I'll tell you who they picked. The first person that is left for $700 is sorry, I have it right here. Sorry. One of the 2 is B Riding High. BRD High. You know who you are. He has the following for his predictions: Rafael Nadal to beat Daniil Medvedev in the final. He has Rafa Nadal to beat.
That can happen.
Medvedev.
That can happen.
On the women's side, he has Pegula to defeat Ons Jabeur.
Man, I need one of those to go down.
Okay.
Jabeur?
Yeah.
Let me see who Jabeur plays next.
Okay. The other person left is curling tennis. Curling tennis and B Riding High are always playing fantasy. They're super intelligent fantasy players for sure.
Jabeur plays Kudermetova, and Pegula plays Kvitova. So she could lose.
Yeah. So curling tennis has the following predictions for $700. Curling tennis has Coco Golf defeating Pagula. I'd love to see that, by the way. I'd rather see. No, yes, I was going to say I'd rather see Golf win, but I thought he had it vice versa. Yes, I would love to see that. He also has Carlos Alcaraz taking out Daniil Medvedev. So those are the two players left for $700. Everyone had Halep and blah 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 blah. So those are the two that's left. So good luck, but I do hope one of those players loses.
Yeah.
Right? Jeez, come on, man.
I think Alcaraz could lose. Alcaraz has a good chance. Who does he play next? Let's see.
It's a good question. I got the draws here.
Alcaraz would play Chile. Chile just won. Oh, not a good match for Chile.
Anyway, to squash the Serena thing and why I brought up ESPN in the first place. What's up, Mike Walker? Missed you.
Serena was doing this big guys really well last night. She was sitting down. She could be competitive. Correct. If she would slim down. And that's why I thought Tomljanovic, before their match, before the tournament started, I said Tomljanovic would win. She's a lady that's in shape.
Yep.
She can run all day. She does a lot of three-setters. Has a lot of experience with it. She's had her boyfriend was Berrettini. I'm sure they practice. So I felt like she had a huge advantage over Serena.
Agree.
Yeah.
And she can last a long time.
And she doesn't scream. She doesn't smash the racket. She's very calm, cool, and collected.
Agree. So the better player won last night.
So Tom Chi, I gave your email address to Gene Schwartz. And I send the sheet. He's going to contact you because you guys are way off. Like it does not even match.
I'm thinking though, correct me.
Maybe you're ahead. Maybe like you're ahead at draw. That could be like maybe he's still on second round and maybe you calculated third round.
Yeah.
So that's why I sent him your email. Okay. And he's going to contact you.
It all works out in the end, but let me go ahead and repeat. JD won. What is in first place?
That's what I'm thinking maybe happened, that he's still in second round and you're in third round. And maybe that's where the miscommunication is.
Okay, we've talked about the one-handed backhand for a little bit. We love it, but unfortunately it's not something that you're going to dominate with if you're hitting heavy topspin backhand to backhand. The two-hander generally is going to pull that off. We talked about Richard Gasquet for a moment. Why did I bring him up? And I got sidetracked. Richard Gasquet is the last one-handed player left in the tournament, and he's about to go bye-bye with this Nadal match. He bageled him, and then a French fry.
It's 4-3, so it's a bit more competitive right now.
Well, Nadal is 17-1. Nadal is 17-1 against Gasquet lifetime. Correct me if I'm wrong. And
hello, Ashish. According to Tom Chi, you're supposed to be number one, but then Gene Schwartz has Mukesh.
But I'm number one.
Yes, but Mukesh is number two. So we're trying to get this fixed because this needs to get fixed. This is why we paid Tom Chi and Gene. You guys need to get this thing.
I'm telling you, one of them has it just through round
like
2, and someone's got it halfway through round 3.
I think it's 17-1, Michael Walker. But they need to, I think someone's ahead.
Yeah, 17-1. We looked it up.
Yeah. Yeah, we can all update the sheet after the third round.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're supposed to do anyway.
I think someone's behind, so that's why I sent him your email.
Then it's a mute point.
By the way, Michael Walker, you're smart, dude. Tell me where I can find these Serena shoes. I know she made them custom made for her, but I feel like I could find these.
You can. I know you can.
And I want to buy them.
There's no way.
Since my husband buys so many shoes, he won't care how much I pay.
I won't. You can pay whatever.
Right.
She wants that munching bag too, though. So if anybody sees a non-fake munching bag, the MCM, there's no
need for me to have a munching bag.
She wants the munching bag.
There's no need for me to have a munching bag. I don't go out anywhere, so no.
But there's no way that a shoe as significant as the shoe she was wearing is not going to be retailable. It's not going to be on Nike.com. It's going to be on.
I would love to buy her dress, but I'll be honest with you. There's no way a real tennis player can wear a long sleeve shirt with so many freaking fake ass diamonds on them and not
real.
sweat.
They're probably real.
Okay, but you're telling me that you would be comfortable wearing a long sleeve dress when it's so hot?
Serena wouldn't have been wearing it if it wasn't at some point in time going to be retailable. Again, this is about marketing. We live in a marketing world.
Maria Sharapova came out with a similar dress.
Yeah.
Remember when she came back after her drug whatever thing? And she beat Halep. She came out with a similar dress. Her dress sold for like, I don't know, when it first came out, like $200.
I tell you what, I'll send out. And by the way,
I want the same shoe she has. I want to buy her shoe. I'm not gonna wear it. I just want her shoe.
It's a black vapor shoe. No, it's her line. It's like the red ones you had, but it's black. It has little little diamonds all over it.
I'm not
sure they're
asking for
real.
anyone to buy it. I just
No,
want.
yeah, no, we
I
did
just
it.
want you to.
Where do
If
you?
someone
Where can
help
you
me
find it?
find where the site is, where I can
Yeah.
purchase it.
Yeah.
I would like to know. Maybe some of you guys know. I've been searching for the shoe and I can't find it.
You have to look at apps like Kix, Kix. You
I've
have
tried,
to look at
Justin.
apps like Goat, Goat, and you have to look at apps like Kith, Kith. Even though I hear Kith's customer service is awful,
I'm trying to find a shoe and I haven't had any luck.
if she wore it, it will be retailable. Otherwise, why would she wear it?
Put it to you this way: once I bought that shoe, I would save it and I would purposely go to like some exhibition she'd do it and have her sign it.
Oh, speaking of shoes, we ordered a pair of Roger Federer Pro On shoes, solid white, not to keep. I will never wear them, but to keep as a keepsake. And then ultimately, if the price drives up, kind of like Serena drove up the price of the U.S. Open tickets, he retires or whatever it may be, then we'll think about flipping. And then, in terms of all white tennis shoes, though, all white, are you a fan? And if not,
No.
why?
I've never been a fan of a white shoe at all.
All white.
No, I get the shoe dirty. No way.
Dirty,
No way.
scuffs easily.
No.
You scratch it, stands out. Look, I love the all white shoe, but when you're buying your own shoes, and maybe mom or dad's not buying them for you, and you get grown and you want a pair of shoes, you don't want them dirty after one or two times out. And yes, you can wipe your shoes off. Fish has a song, and that song is called Cavern. And at the very end of Cavern, they say, "Whatever you do, take care of your shoes." Really good tune. Anyway, it's hard to take care of an all white shoe because any type of stain stays there. And if you rub it too hard, then it scratches the white paint off of the leather. So a white shoe is tough to handle, but we did order a pair of those. And I'm not quite sure. This company, Kith, has been really kind of slow, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've talked about on this show two strokes, ground strokes tennis. We've talked about the one-handed backhand, and we have talked about the semi-western. One-handed backhand being kind of a fading out thing, not because no one wants to do it or is too lazy to do it, just because the heavy top spin back there leads us to hack to it, which allows the opponent to come in and crank the ball. Ask Nadal when he plays Federer, or Djokovic when he plays Federer, hits the head-to-head. If Federer had now, by the way, did you know that Roger Federer began his career with a two-handed backhand? Remember, we used to watch videos of him when he was like 8. He was hitting with a two-handed backhand, right?
Yeah.
When he was like 8. So he started with the two-hand and then went to one. Just saying. Anyway, it is hard to be fluid though with with two hands on the backhand side. I think my dad loves the one-handed backhand because it's beautiful to see. It's ballet. It's a
Sure,
dance.
I understand it's beautiful,
But it's not as effective.
We want to win.
We want to win.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not care. We do care how it looks, but there's an old saying, something along the lines of, you can win ugly. In other words, it doesn't have to be pretty to win. If it's pretty, you're Federer. If you want to be ugly, you can be Nadal. Now, this comes to my next topic on strokes or gameplay on the court. So we talked about one-handed backhand and why it's fading out. Not because they don't want to do it. It's just that everyone gets beat these days. The last player in the draw in both men's and women's with a one-handed backhand is Richard Gasquet, and he's getting thumped. Why? Top spin to the backhand. Anyway, it's not rocket science. So we talked about the semi-western grip and being tight on the elbow when we come around, but I want to talk about for a moment Rafael Nadal and his ball bouncing when he serves. Okay? Djokovic does it, Cilic does it, and a million other players do it.
Which is why I get annoyed with them.
Yes.
I love Nadal, but that whole bouncing and Djokovic and Cilic, I can't stand it. I love watching players like Jennifer Cuddy. They get up there.
Or Kyrgios goes right to the line.
Boom, serve.
Gone.
I can't stand that long wait.
Now, why do they do this? Ask yourself this question. Nadal habitually takes the serve clock down to 0. They get 25 seconds. Okay. He takes every 25 seconds, even between first and second serve. So every time he serves the ball, he's getting 25 seconds to recuperate. Now, he milks that 25-second clock every single time throughout the entire match. So if you add up those 25 seconds and multiply that by the amount of times he serves, you'll see how much time he gets to rest and recuperate. Now.
Oh, 17-0. I thought you said it was 17-1.
I thought it was 17-1.
17-0. Oh my God.
Good knowledge drop, Mike Walker. He's the guru.
Buy me these shoes, Mike Walker.
Mike Walker is the guru. You can't take that away from him. He is a tennis beast. Fact. Right? As much as I try to outdo him, at least with tennis stuff, you never do it. You're going to lose. And I admit that. Okay. But Rafael Nadal, if you add up those 25 seconds throughout the entire match, okay, he's getting 30, 45 minutes, if not more, of rest time, right? Now, the other player could do it, but the problem with the other player doing that, so they get the same amount of rest, is some players get cold. Some players don't feel right in their mind if they're not flowing at a more quicker pace. If they get slowed down, they tend to get lazy or flat-footed, whatever it is. So some players can't play slow like that. And some players get frustrated when others play slow when they play them. So I don't know, the shot clock thing, you know, it's relatively new in the tennis world. I mean, within what, the past 10 years, the shot clock's been out? The serve clock, 10 years?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Ryan?
So
how are you, buddy?
Yeah. But if you look at Rafael Nadal and his amount of time that he saves multiplied by the amount of times that he serves per match, you will get a very large number of rest. And players complain about it. Players, didn't Shapovalov go off on the umpire one time when Nadal was doing this? But everybody blows him off because, you know, he's arguably the GOAT, even though I think Djokovic is the GOAT. Anyway.
3 years. That's what he's saying, 3 years.
That's when the shot clock's been out for 3 years?
Okay.
Anyway, but that's why people get frustrated with it. Now, let me ask you a question. If Rafael Nadal was forced to serve immediately when he went to the service line, or to the baseline, rather, do you think he would still be as dominant?
Yes, because he would adjust.
You think so?
Yeah, you have to
I don't know.
You have no choice but to adjust.
I don't feel like he would be much better or worse. I just feel like if he was told, hey, as soon as you get the ball, go back there and get the ball in, because he's OCD, he has to have his bottles right. And,
I think I'm gonna get these just because they're $99.
Do it. Yeah. Are they new?
9.5.
They're new.
But to resell, yeah.
Get them to keep them. Can you wear that?
No, 9.5, yes, but I'm not gonna wear it.
Okay, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
Working hard, glad it's the weekend. Me too, Ryan. We've had a long week. We've been working since Monday. We've been coming home. Monday we came home at 10, 11.
11 o'clock.
Wednesday was a late night. Friday we got home at 11. I fell asleep. I mean,
but we've had a good time.
I struggled to even brush my teeth. Put it to you that way.
We've had a good time though.
We've had a good time, but
yeah,
I'm actually looking forward to relaxing, watch some tennis. I'm actually going to be a vegetable. Well, tomorrow I got to go to Mississippi, but.
M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I.
Maybe cook something.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Healthy?
Or like what?
I don't know. Think of something.
You want to cook out downstairs?
I don't think so.
No, a little too hot.
Yeah, cook something healthy.
You want me to do that stuffed chicken again?
We could do that.
Oh, by the way, Ryan, Mike, Ashish, Tom Chi, I had the new hats made, and I thought they were pretty cool. So, you know, if you know our dog Sub-Zero, and then we have another dog too, by the way, Katana, and she's another dog the same way. She's just older, so I don't like to carry her around. But we had a couple of hats made, okay? So we got the American Bully logo, and this isn't our logo, by the way. This is not mine. I found this as a graphic, and I put it there. Did not design that. Our logo that I designed in the shower one night is here. So pretty cool hats. It's pretty chill, right? Okay. Anyway, I like the logo. I do. Does anybody have the score, the final score of the Gasquet Nadal match?
Those Air Force Ones.
I gotta grab my paper. I need that.
The Serena score is, let's see. Oh, the Serena. I was looking at Serena shoes, guys. 5-4. 5-4 Gasquet, but Nadal serving 30-15. On serve, yes.
Interesting. It will be.
And Sabalenka is winning 5-0 against Burrell. And Swiatek won the first set 6-3 against Davis, and then Davis is up 4-1.
To be expected.
But she's up 4-1 in the second.
By the way, I must mention this now.
There's a lot of 6.
Not a paid promotion, promise you. The owner of Tech Strings, Ivor Savage, good friend, great coach, and the owner of Tech Strings sent us a lot of strings to give out for the show. And there are 4 sets of strings I have here that Carl and I just haven't had time to get to the post office. And I can't just drop it in a mailbox because it's international. We have to go in and fill out the paperwork and blah, 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 blah. So I can't just drop it in the mailbox. So it is Jesus Caraba, is that right? Mm-hmm. And is it William Spencer?
Jack Nolte, I think.
Jack Nolte?
Mm-hmm.
Either way, so I have the strings here. They are all set for you, and those come from Ivor, as he is a fan of the show as well. So they will be coming to you. Have them here, and they're really nice. I've been playing with them for now 4 or 5 days, And for an 18 gauge string, which is relatively thin, I think one of the thinnest that you can get with the sharp edges, it has not notched, it has not frayed, and it has been a lights out string with heavy spin, right? Okay, so real quickly to squash the Nadal topic. How annoying would it be, Carla, if you were playing someone that took 25 seconds just to serve?
Honestly, Justin, even though it's Nadal, I would be very annoyed.
You'd be pissed.
I'd tell him, please hurry up.
You'd be pissed.
I'd be upset. Honestly, I can't do the slow play.
Well, think about it.
Even if I played a long point, to me, I'm the type of player. I'm like, okay, so Justin always compares my game to Casakina.
Yeah, it's similar.
But I don't think my game is like Casakina's.
Well, you both take the backhand on the line.
But if I have a choice, do you want me to tell you what
That's
player?
why Casakina
want
always
me to tell
takes
you
the
what
backhand on the line.
player would have my game?
Who?
Or I have her game?
Who?
Jennifer Caprelli.
Okay, fair enough. You're built the same.
I think her and I have similar games. We're very fast when we serve. We kind of hit the same way.
Yeah.
We kind of move the same way. We
And
hit the ball on the right.
You kind of look alike, maybe.
To me, when I look at Capriati, I look at her and I say, that's actually my game. That's how actually I think. I think like her. Like I get up there and I serve, and I'm aggressive from the beginning, like her.
Yeah.
And I don't waste too much time. Even when we change over, I'm like, even if I'm losing. So I think you got that wrong. I think I'm more like Capriati.
You know, good analogy, but the only reason why for years I've said that is because Casakina likes to whack the backhand.
Watch Capriati actually when she hits.
Yeah.
If you watch Capriati's game, looking back at it, I'm like, my game is very similar to her. Even though when I was a junior, I hated Jennifer Capriati. My best friend loved her, and I'm like, why?
Why did you hate her so much?
Because I thought she was overrated, and especially when she messed up that whole thing for people not to be pros at 14, 15 because of what she did.
Oh, Jag Nolte just dropped a bomb. I'm guessing Swiatek plays Lauren Davis.
I just said that. Just
you did? I'm sorry, I spaced on it. Lauren Davis is 4-1 lifetime versus Iga Swiatek. But when was the last time they played? Was it like 4 years ago? Are those recent wins? I don't know the answer to the question. Great knowledge drop though. Great knowledge drop. Anyway, if I play Carla, which we used to play sets every single day until I ruptured my patellar tendon and couldn't walk for nearly a year. But the only way sometimes when I would play Carla, you know, she would get out there and she would get up like 3-0 in a hurry, 3-0, you know, sometimes 4-0, even worse. The only way I could slow her down would be to go get my towel at the fence, to turn around, to wipe my face off, to bounce the ball, and then she would get pissed. And when she got pissed, she would start missing, and I was able to climb my way back.
I'm telling you, go back to the Capriati videos and go look at my game.
Yeah.
We are very similar in games. Even the patterns that she chooses are like my patterns.
Yeah.
Very aggressive. We're not really thinking, let's rally 20 balls. I'm really not going to rally 20 balls. I'm looking for the kill.
Exactly. And Casakina, when she gets that backhand,
but she's not as strong.
She's tucking it up.
When I disagree with you because she's not as strong as me.
Obviously, there's not many females on the planet.
I'm just saying she's not even built like me. So when you say Casakina, I'm like, I'm not even close to her.
Just some of the shots. Some of the shots, given the situation where the ball is. By the way, you are correct about strength.
She has no.
Carla doesn't go press weights. She's just naturally this way.
Nowhere near my strength. When I even look at Capriati's body, I have to work like her. If we don't work out, we get chunky. So yes, I feel like I can relate more to Capriati.
I never was a Capriati fan, honestly.
I wasn't either. You know when I became a fan of hers? When she did that interview at the U.S. Open, and they asked her, "Why do you think you're losing all the time?" And she broke down. And she said, guys, I'm so tired of you asking. I'm human.
Yeah.
And when she finally showed that side of her, she's a human being and she's got emotions, I became a fan of hers. And then when her dad trained her and she started kicking ass and she won 3 slams, I was like, let's go.
Let's go.
Even when she's playing against Serena, I was like, come on, Jennifer. And I was never a fan of hers till that happened, when she finally broke down.
Okay, this next little part, I'm going to deviate from that topic just for a moment. This is for Mike Walker out there. I would say we can consider Mike Walker as like a family friend, right? Even the kids know who we're talking about, right? So our youngest son, JPD2, who is our youngest of 5 children, has long hair, right? And there was a viewer, and his name was Guru, I think, that left a pretty good comment, a same comment that we have talked about a while. So if you saw the video I did yesterday where our 6-year-old Justin was hitting forehands and backhands, and he looked pretty good, I thought. His hair was in his face the whole time. So I'm going to read this comment, and I want to say before I even read it that I agree with Guru. Okay? So
it's your fault, number one.
Well, yes, but it's not my fault. He won't wear a hat or keep his hair out of his face.
It's your fault. I've told you that we should trim his hair, but you're like, no, he ain't around here. I'm like, okay.
All right. So we all know at this point, Justin Jr., our fifth child, has long hair like me. But I wear a hat, or I wear a bandana, or I wear something on my head so it stays out of my face when I play. Justin, on the other hand, doesn't care for it.
Because he's a little kid.
So he tilts his head one way to keep the hair out of his face.
He's a little kid, that's why.
Okay, so anyway, I got this comment today, and at first I was kind of like, who the fuck? I was like, what the? But then I thought about it. I processed that information throughout the day, and then I was like, wait a minute. He's right. Okay, so I'm going to read you the comment. Let me pull this up. Okay.
First of all, as a person, I would never put that on a video. Number one.
That's okay. I mean, I get it. He's
number
passionate.
two. I get what he's saying, but he hasn't commented on a video in a long time.
So okay.
I agree with him on some points, but I at the same time I could care less about his comment.
Okay, let me read you the comment, and this is for Mike Walker. I want Mike Walker to tell me as a dad, okay, how you would process this information. He obviously.
I would say none of your business.
Okay. Here's the comment, and I quote from Guru K. And I agree with. At first, I was pissed, but then I was like, wait a minute, he's actually right. And again, so because his hair is so long and won't wear a hat or won't even let me put it in a ponytail, he kicks his head to the left so the hair stays out of his head. So he walks around like this. So here's the comment. Quote, I have stopped commenting on this channel since 2 years for whatever reasons, but couldn't let that beautiful kid JPD2 Jr.'s posture permanently change due to his hair blocking his vision always. And one of the major reasons that poor kid has to adjust by tilting his head to the left. He's right. It's a fact. He's not making this up. It's true. Okay. Next paragraph. The best thing is to keep the hair trimmed like us Indians, or if you want to grow hair, try to find means to not let it be a distraction. In other words, put it in a ponytail, put a hat on, put a bandana on.
Personally, I'm gonna be real with you. The ponytail to me is stupid on you guys.
Than a hat or a bandana.
I'm telling you.
On the court. Only on the court.
When you put the ponytail, it looks like a rat tail. I don't like it. He really needs about 3 inches off. The
last part of this stated, please delete this comment, or once you acknowledge or ignore me, I will remove. Because the comment doesn't serve its purpose any longer. And I agree with the comment. I do. I look.
You're at big fault, number one. Number two, I've always said my son shouldn't have his hair that long. Number two.
Well,
there are places that can trim his hair. That's what they do. That's what they're there for. Okay, so it's off your eyes and stuff. Long hair, that's fine. But the ponytail stuff, yeah. I don't like. I just don't like it. Michael Walker said, tell Justin to get a headband like Boring and McEnroe when he had long hair.
Well, I asked, and thank you for that, Mike. I showed him pictures when I got this message. I showed Justin pictures, or JPD2. I showed him pictures of Sistipas with a headband. I showed him pictures of, say, Borna Chorich with the hat. Even Kyrgios with a backwards hat, just to give him an idea of the different ways that he can approach things. And I asked him, what would you choose, backwards hat, frontwards hat, or headband? And he said hat. But I bought him a million hats, and he still takes it off.
Right.
But I don't know what it is. I think he's just 6. And
he's 6 years old, and he needs his hair trimmed. Not only that, he needs it thinned out. Number 2, if you're a hairdresser, you know that, and evened out. Number 3. So, yeah, that's your fault, Justin.
Anyway, Justin's a fine young man, and he's 6, and
he's 6, but he always tilted his head when he had no hair.
Well, Jonathan used to do a head twitch.
I have videos of little Justin with no hair, and he would still tilt his head. So,
yeah.
I mean, I thank you for your comment.
It's a good comment. It's relevant.
Yeah, thank you for your comment, but you know what? I wouldn't give a comment about your child. Just saying.
Well, again,
I
feel like it was a passionate comment.
I get it, but my dad would have said some colorful things to him.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this. That we have had this discussion with JPD2 multiple times. And he didn't pay any attention to it, but you know what he did?
Thank you. The parents to determine how long the hair, and thanks to Justin because of his long ass dumb hair. He thinks Justin should have hair that long. Where in my opinion, it should be like 3 inches shorter.
Not 3'2".
His hair is like up to here. I brush his hair every morning. I'm like, this hair shouldn't be that long. It should be somewhere around here.
But remember, the shorter you cut it, the more it's going to go in his face.
Justin,
you want it to come behind the shoulder.
But hairdressers know how to trim it where your hair is not.
It's flowing behind the shoulder.
Exactly, Justin.
Okay, we'll
You
get
need
that
to
done.
trim.
Let's go. Let's get that done.
Brian says, I think he could be a very special player one day.
I think he will.
Brian, you know what? I actually believe in my heart, and I don't say this about my kids, but I believe if Justin continues the way that he's going, practicing every day, I believe that you could see him one day on TV. I really do.
Look, and we don't say this from no experience. We have 4 kids that.
You know that kid can hit the ball in the rise, and most kids don't know that. I was watching him, and I said, this kid has something special about him. He loves it. He has passion.
All right, let me show you. All right, I'm going to show you. Let me get past this.
So you have 37 points, you say, Ashish? Okay, let me see what.
Let's go, Ashish.
He said, I just calculated my points.
Let me show you.
He said, my score is 37 points.
Quick video of our 6-year-old.
This is our 6-year-old Justin.
He's our youngest of 5 children, Justin Jr. I'm Justin Sr. Of him hitting. So he's coming along really nicely. He loves the game a whole bunch. It's hard to keep him from wanting to practice. He loves it. So I'm going to feed him a few balls. Get him.
Let me fast forward to where he gets going.
He's playing with a 100 square inch frame. So he has a regular racket, regular string bed, 100 square inches, but it's 25 inches in length. So he's coming along nicely. He's starting to hit well. He started with a one-handed backhand, by the way, and I still make him hit both. So he hits 1 and 2. So right now I have him hitting 2 as he has his first tournament coming up soon. Once he gets his serve down, then we'll go ahead and put him in. So he's ready to go. He's doing really well. We love working with him a lot.
Look, he does really good for 6, and he's 6 years old. And again, it's not the first 6-year-old we've taught. We've taught hundreds of them, if not more. But he never wants.
Just watch the video.
I don't want to show you here. If you go,
so he says Justin looks extremely. Ashish, I sent a message to the guys. I told Gene, I said, Ashish sent me a message that he should have 37 points. Which both guys would be.
Well, at the end of the day, I always add it up. So either way, there's 2 different guys that score it, and I don't want to confuse everybody and make them sound like we don't know what we're doing. So I think you shouldn't even say it in the first place and just watch what you say, because they have an Excel sheet.
Yes,
and they turn in scores. I like to do the updates when it's one round that's over. Yes. I can assure you that one of them had the points up until the current match that's playing, and the other one had it at the end of the second round.
So Gene just replied to me. He said, I will update it.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, "Now we'll get."
Yeah, so you're good.
They both had emails. Anyway, so Mike Walker said Justin looks extremely athletic. He is very athletic.
Yeah.
And he has my legs. He definitely has my legs. He has my tan. He has his hair. And I think he has both of our fights, both of our fighting spirits.
I agree with you. And you know what? He's quiet, and when Justin Jr. looks at you in your eye, you know he's thinking. He's dissecting information, and you know he doesn't have a loud mouth. Like he doesn't. If you tell him to do something, he doesn't go blah blah blah. He just keeps his mouth shut and just kind of looks the other way. He kind of just he's kind of like Christopher, but without that anger, right? So Christopher, our 4th oldest son, and our youngest son are very much similar, I think, right?
Yes.
And I think
very similar.
I think Liliana is like Jonathan, and I think Gabriella is very much like me.
I think Lily's a little bit better than Jonathan.
Oh, as a player, yes.
No, as far as the mental aspect, she's starting to understand that because she's younger. Thank you, Ryan, for your comment. He's essentially good from hitting with him. He can handle the adult rally ball from the baseline, which is a rare for that age. Actually, he's doing better than what you've seen. Michael Walker says, did you see the black guy who qualified for the US Open whose legs are really skinny? Which is that Eubanks?
Is it Eubanks?
Yeah, I'm glad
he
has my legs. Justin struggles with his legs a lot.
Yeah.
Not that skinny legs is, something to mock, but I think it's tough, Yesterday or 2 days ago, for the first time, I felt pain on my groin area, my legs, and that was probably from playing points.
Well, you and Kara, you were.
But that's what I told Justin. I said, I think I'm at the age where I need to kind of chill a bit.
Yeah.
And then I said, I don't see how Serena can do this.
Otherwise, what's going to happen?
And I'm definitely not going to I've seen so many injuries, so I'm definitely not going to I'm not going to follow their example. I want to protect my body because I want to be able to be there for my kids and other students that we're getting. So yeah.
And could you imagine our current responsibility at Mirror Lake and you are down? That would be a nightmare, right? It'd be a nightmare. It takes the both of us to kind of take care of the grounds, the facility.
Gabby's a great little player. She's for sure a great little player. She's got a long way to go, and that's
Gabby.
I'm very truthful when it comes to students.
Yeah,
I tell my students, I don't care if it's my kids or it's a student. I'm very honest and brutal. You have to be. I had a student today that didn't want to move. If I was her parent, I'd make her ass run.
I agree.
Wasting money, standing there in one spot. I'm that honest. I don't care if it hurts their feelings. The world is cruel, and if you're not used to honesty, then you're not living in the real world. Gabby's improving, but she has a lot of work to do.
Okay, so we mentioned Gabriella, and I see Anna Davis out there mention Gabriella. So this is Gabriella. So Gabriella, they're right there. So you might want to look that way. And Gabriella, by the way, we've been training. When did we start, Gabby? Was she 4?
But she never really trained, Justin.
She didn't have a lot of interest.
Honestly, Gabby, we let her play. We weren't very serious with her because we didn't want her to hate tennis. On top of that, we were teaching. And Justin always said, you know what? Let's give her time. But now she's 10, and now is the time.
And now she wants to play.
Now she wants to play. At 11, I learned the game, and I was better than players who played for many years in 1 year. But that's because I trained. So she can do the same thing. She's starting to take a big interest, and she's wanting to train. And she's hitting the ball very good from the forehand, the backhand. Her volleys are coming along, I see.
She kind of swats at it sometimes.
I was watching her today serve, and I said, okay, I feel like she's now understanding that we have the pronate. I was watching you with her. And I said, okay, she's definitely now is starting to look like a serve for sure. And I feel by the time November hits, that she'll be able to serve.
Okay, so here's the news. Gabriella is 10. She just turned 10 in July. And Gabriella is about to play her very first tennis tournament. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will ask, why is it her first tournament? Okay, Carl and I aren't rich, by the way. It takes a lot for us to, if we play a tournament, that means we have to cancel our weekend lessons. That means we have to pay the entry fee. That means if we travel, we have to buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 3 kids. At one point, it was 5 kids. Our 2 oldest ones are in college at the Air Force Academy. So it's a big deal. Carl and I, because we've had 5 kids and we're not rich, Carl and I have never been on vacation ever, not anywhere. We went to New Orleans for one night, but you were had a kidney stone or something, so we had to come home. Other than that, we went to Atlanta. One time we got married. We got married at the courthouse, by the way. We didn't have a wedding. We went to the courthouse, and I had a Walmart ring until just recently when she had my 5K tennis ring made.
He had it made, but yeah, he had it made.
But you allowed me to spend the money to get it.
Yeah.
So anyway, but Gabriella has her first tournament upcoming. And the only reason why we went ahead and entered her in that tournament is because I really do feel like she will win it.
She can do. I feel like.
I think she'll win it.
I feel like Gabby. She has 2 months, right? September, October. I feel like in 2 months that your serve will become a lot more fluid. And the key into girls 12 is just hit one more ball.
Just give them another ball. Yep. Run every ball down and give them another ball.
I don't care how ugly you play. Just get the ball.
But you know what's going to happen? She's going to start getting moon balls, and then it'll end up like Lily's final or Lily's match against the girl from Florida recently. So we have to keep training for the moon balls, right?
So you train her. I feel like she listens to you more. So yeah.
She's a good girl. So let me ask you a question, Gabby.
Where would you like to visit one day? Any country?
Serbia for me.
For me, I want to go to Spain.
Me, Serbia.
And I definitely want to go to Scotland.
Okay, I'm going with Serbia only because I have so much respect for the players that ended up at the top of the game.
That's all great.
Can I finish what I'm saying?
That's all great, but
the players that played in bombed out swimming pools when bombs were dropping over their heads during the Kosovo War. It's just for me. Look, I'm very patriotic. My father was a captain in the Navy, flight surgeon, and a doctor in the Navy. My mother's brothers, my Uncle Sam, Uncle Bill, officers in the Navy. Her father, Leroy, was an officer in the military. and there's many others in our family tree. So I've been patriotic, not necessarily just for the country, but
Who's
for,
from Serbia?
for family. No one's from Serbia.
Oh, okay.
I
You
didn't
said
say that.
patriotic. Okay.
I said I'm patriotic.
Okay, but I mean,
I just respect it. Look,
Sure,
I
I
take
think-
tennis very seriously, and
Like, you know, and
I think if you can have the likes of Helena Yankovic, Ana Ivanovic,
Sure.
Novak Djokovic to come out and hit against what would be a wall, and we know how difficult and annoying sometimes hitting on a wall can be because the damn thing always
so
hits the
you're
ball
okay
back
with
to
him
you.
bouncing the ball a million times?
Who?
Djokovic.
I'm not talking about
Even
that.
though-
I'm
even
talking
though-
about the fact that he is arguably
I
the
would
GOAT,
love to visit
and he
his-
and
So I have friends that they had their kids go to his academy. You know, they took pictures and stuff. So that's actually, if I go to Serbia, that's actually one thing I would like to
Yeah.
do is go visit his academy and hopefully him be there, just so I can meet him.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of the friends I have and their kids take pictures with him, so he takes a lot of pictures with
Yeah.
other kids. So I would like to see, you know, I would like for the opportunity, and I see also that the friends that I know, he actually hits with them.
Okay, so let me ask you Gabby a question or two.
Yeah.
All right, Gabriella, you ready? So you look here and you're gonna answer the questions here, okay? So you have your first tournament ever coming up. You've never played one. Okay, we've talked about how important it is to get your serve in. Are you confident at all you will be able to enter your first tournament and not double vault 37 times like Jonathan did, our oldest son, in his first tournament? Are you confident you're gonna get the ball in with serve? Okay. Number two, how do you think you will approach it? Are you going to be confident? Are you going to be nervous? There's going to be people watching you. Are you stressed about it? Do you feel good about it? How do you feel about to play your first ever tournament?
Confident.
Confident? Now, I did tell Gabriella that I would give her $100 if she won the tournament. I'm not talking second place. I'm not talking semifinals. I'm not talking consolation winner. I'm talking about walking home with the outright trophy. I do believe that she can win it because I've seen a lot of the 10-year-olds. She's playing 12s though, right?
Yeah.
She's not playing 10 and under. She's playing 12s and she's 10.
And you know, I wouldn't put that pressure on Gabby. I think
She
Gabby,
has no pressure.
I think that Gabby, you should try your best.
I'll be happy either
And
way.
it doesn't matter what happens, but that you should try your best and
Now-
learn from it.
Now, next question. Gabriella, I started with a one-handed backhand. Okay. About 2 years into her beginning, I felt like that she wasn't quite strong enough to get that backhand, the one-handed backhand around and make contact out front and to light the ball up. We put a second hand on the racket and she hits a really darn good backhand. Like she waxed the ball,
Who showed
right?
her that backhand?
You did. Okay. So let me ask you a question, Gabriella. When you step out on the tennis court, especially as you're about to take part in your first ever tennis tournament, do you feel more confident hitting the one-handed backhand or two-handed backhand, and why?
Two-handed
Why?
because I can put more power on the ball.
Okay, you can talk a little bit louder. What was it?
Two-handed so I can put a little bit more power on the ball.
More power, right? So, do you think that you have, and again, there's no pressure. It doesn't matter. We'll be happy either way. We'll have lunch, whatever. It doesn't matter. But do you feel she's been to a lot of tournaments watching her older sister play and her two older brothers, right? You've seen a lot of these 12-year-olds play. Matter of fact, we were just at a tournament recently in Mississippi, and she watched a lot of 14-year-old matches, 12-year-old matches, and 10-year-old matches. Gabby came to me multiple times and said, Dad, I can beat these girls, all of them.
And that's great to go in that confidence. But I don't want you to get down if whatever the results are not what you expected.
Yeah, and also
You work hard, you train hard. Because I can tell you, Gabby, that even as much as I trained, there were times I lost to players that I should have never lost to.
and you know one thing,
I just trained. I came back, except when I was 18, I quit.
do
but I
you know
trained.
one thing that she won't be able to prepare for? The nerves of people watching.
Right, and
There's
that's the
nerves.
thing. Since you've never played a match before, you won't know how it feels.
I like people watching.
You
Okay,
do?
well, that's
She
great.
likes people watching.
Okay, great.
By the
Well,
way,
keep training and having fun, but train hard.
she's the vice president of her elementary school, aren't you?
That was last.
Oh, was it last year?
So we're gonna be
So you're president this year?
I'm gonna try.
Let's go. Okay, Gabriella, you are everything. You're like my mini-me. You know, we're very much similar. And we do hope that you do well in the tournament. But even if you have a bad go, it doesn't matter. We've all been there.
You learn from it.
You learn from it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay? You good to go?
Maybe you'll
All
be
right.
like mom and win her first tournament she entered, or maybe you'll learn from it and win the next tournament. Who knows?
It's
Did
possible.
you spill a drink?
Yeah, I spilled that. I'll get it. I don't slide in it. Be careful. Okay.
Go
Gabrielle,
for Gabby.
let's go.
These kids have done things I've never done before, by the way. Like trying to be president or vice president. Yeah, I've never tried that. But my kids, for some reason, Lily was president and then Gabby was vice president. I've never tried to do any of that, by the way.
I like that. We should get pens for that, Ryan. Make hats. Vote for Gabby.
Wildlife like, I was ready to cry watching her struggle with Lauren Davis, but Iga wins. So I'm ready to cry. He loves Iga.
Good for
I
him.
think Wildlife has a crush on her.
An ego crush.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about for a moment, and if you want me to pass this, we can. But let's talk about Nick Kyrgios for a minute. Nick Kyrgios and Daniil Medvedev are about to play soon. Do they have to win? Do they have to win one more
That's
match?
gonna be probably the popcorn match.
Is that the
I'm
popcorn match?
sure that everybody, you know, I was looking at the draw as it's coming out. Really, a lot of the men's match is kind of boring, honestly. Tonight's matches are very boring. Woohoo, Nadal went through. We did expect that, you know. But I feel like Medvedev and Kyrgios is going to be a popcorn match. That is the match we've been waiting for.
Who do you think wins that match?
Well, the only reason I'm choosing Nick and I don't like him is just so the people that chose him for the fantasy group lose. So
Good knowledge drop.
that's the only reason I'm voting for him. Yeah, Rublev Shuffle was good, but I didn't get to watch it. I was trying to watch it, but my connection was not that good. Like I said, we've been working 6 straight days, guys.
Yeah.
We've been getting home super late.
Yep.
We've had clinics 3 nights, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
So until they don't get done till 8:30, and then we have to groom the courts 6:30. Then they get done at 8. So we have to groom the
Then
courts,
shower.
take
Justin's
showers.
special. He showers for like 30 minutes. So by the time he dresses and all that and gets all the stuff ready,
And my shoes. I always got to bring my shoes.
we don't get out of there till late. So we've had a very, very long week.
Yeah.
I told Justin, Serena's out. You know, Osaka's out. Andrescu's out. You know, Raducanu's out. Fernandez is out. So you know who I'm going to root for? There's
Coco
a couple
Gauff.
players.
Coco
I'm going to root
Gauff.
for Coco Gauff. I'm going to root for Tomljanovic. Would be my second one that I
Okay.
root for. My third one would probably be Azarenka.
Fair enough. I can see that.
Just so she could say F you
Cost
for
you.
those players, you
Cost
know?
you.
So those are my 3. For the guys, I feel like Nadal's got a pretty good draw.
Medvedev's potentially
But-
on part of repeat.
But I want Medvedev to lose.
Just because we don't have to give away $700 potentially.
Just because of that. Yes.
Not that we're huge fans.
I'm not a huge fan of either. I don't like either. Okay?
Yep.
I don't like either player just because of that.
And what makes it even more a popcorn match is they both have attitudes. Medvedev was about to knock Tsitsipas out one day on the court, right?
Tiafoe would be another one I would root for.
Tiafoe's another
Yeah.
good one. Let's go
I would
Tiafoe.
root Tiafoe over Alcaraz.
Let's go Tiafoe.
Yes.
Let's go. I would love to see that. I know Mike Walker wants to see it. Coco Gauff for me is the one I'm rooting for, no doubt. Coco Gauff to me, as a person, is much better of a person than Serena. Okay, Serena's a way better player, obviously, at the same age, whatever. But
She's got a good shot.
Coco
Round
Gauff
of
is
16 is-
lively. She's
Round of
fun.
16 is Zhang.
Go Coco
Good
Gauff.
match. And Tomljanovic has Samsonova.
Yeah.
Winnable match.
Hopefully, when Coco Gauff wins her first major, and that she shall, she doesn't, dip out on Vogue magazine and get a hip hop artist to lure her into bad energy. Not saying they're bad energy. I love hip hop, but I'm just saying when you're training to be a professional tennis player at the top of the game, you really don't have time for that stuff. Ask Osaka, ask Sharapova, ask Raducanu, ask Kornikova. Ask so many people over time, especially the females, that get hot, they win a major, and all of a sudden they're not. You can't put Anna Ivanovic in there because Anna Ivanovic won her major at the end of her career and not the beginning. Right? Anyway, go Coco Gauff. Yes, I would love to see Tiafoe do well, but mainly because he's from the U.S., 1, but 2, because he's a good guy. Right? I like it when the good guys win.
Tiafoe plays against Nadal, so it's going to be tough for me, but I'm going to love watching it. Yeah.
All right. Also, too, Mike Walker.
Yes, Stephanie. Absolutely. We didn't talk about this. I thought Serena's handshake was classless. It was salty.
Read your comment.
She said Serena's handshake was salty considering it was her last one. Disappointing. I felt like Tomljanovic wanted to give her a hug, but she didn't even acknowledge her.
And they left her sitting over there.
No, the city problem. The
Didn't
city,
even congratulate her.
the congratulating, but she should have shook better, you know. And that's where you said she's a diva. I don't like her. That's
Yeah.
what you said, and I'm
I
telling.
said
you.
it right there when I saw it.
He's like, I'm so tired of seeing Serena, and I'm telling you guys what he said.
Okay.
And I said,
It's nothing bad. I'm just telling you.
I said,
I'm tired of seeing it.
I totally get it. What he's saying, I understand that. You know, I get what you're
And
saying.
there's many people that think the
Many
same
people
way.
think the same way. I totally understand what you're saying. You know, I felt like she could have been a little bit more classy,
Professional.
professional. She should have said, like I said, when you left, congratulations to Janovic for having a great tournament. Today was a tough match. You deserve the win. You were the better player. Good luck in your next round. So happy to play you. Blah blah blah. She could have said anything, you know.
But
could've-
said none of the above.
None of the above. But that's Serena, and that's what happens when you're rich.
Well, you
and-
said it perfect. Well, that's Serena. That's why people have a look. Serena, if she was a little bit more of a professional lady, at some, you know, in other words, like a humble person, then she would have every fan and not just half of the fans. You know, some people are like, oh, because she's African American. No. You know, tennis is an international community of like-minded people. Okay, we're a mixed relationship, of mixed children. We have people of every culture, size, weight, shape, creed, religion, whatever, that we teach and hang out with daily. Gender association, sexuality, doesn't matter. We're all tennis players. However, I do think.
And again, it's the way their parents raised them. I can tell you that
Mhm.
Richard and whatever her name is, I forgot her name is, Orsi, they're very arrogant people. You know, they're very arrogant. I can tell you that much. To them, race is everything, guaranteed.
Yeah, you know what?
It is. I'm sorry, it is. Believe me.
At the end of a sentence, we put a period, right? And that's the end of the discussion, right? If you're retiring, that speech is the period on the end of your career. It's it. Here you go. Even though I think that's not even true. I think it's a conspiracy theory that she's going to come back and everybody just got raped for ticket prices.
She's not coming back.
Don't be surprised if she plays the Australian
Justin,
Open.
I don't think so.
Do you think Serena Williams plays the Australian Open?
I don't think so. Ryan
Poll
said.
question it. Poll question it.
No, they can answer it.
Do you think Serena
Ryan
Williams
says-
plays the Australian
I
Open?
don't think so. Lily's discussion on Serena on the show sums it up. She's the GOAT, but her time has come and gone. It's time to move on.
Good knowledge drop for him to remember that.
Yeah, I don't think she's coming back. She's not going to want to travel all the way to Australia.
I'm,
No
will-
way.
I'm,
She's 40. 40 years old.
I'm willing to bet someone $20. $20.
Look at her mom. That's how big she's going to be.
I'll bet someone $20 she plays one major next year. $20.
Okay.
Okay. She will either play Australia. She won't play the French. We know
There's
that.
no reason for her.
She'll
to
play
her.
maybe Wimbledon and then the US. I'm guaranteeing
Yeah, no, I don't
in some
think so.
capacity. She'll play doubles maybe. She'll play singles. She's going to play another major.
Michael Walker says Serena's only learned to be gracious in her defeat in her mid-30s. Ryan says she's done.
She'll play another one.
I don't think so.
She will walk on the court again. If
Justin,
her
if she
older
wants to be
sister
a-
did it 3 years her senior, she's going to do it.
If Serena
You'll see.
wants to be a mom, she has to do it now. 40.
She'll play another major.
Stephanie says, how will the organizers advertise the tournament? Now, other than the last dance for Serena?
Yeah,
I don't think so. You're wrong.
I think she plays another one.
I don't think
And I'm willing to take
she
it.
doesn't have a chance.
I get it, but it's about herself. It's about her being in the camera. I don't think she has a chance
You know,
either.
though what, though, Van Lee, though, Ryan is right. I don't remember Serena congratulating her opponents too many times. Very few times she's actually congratulated her opponent, you know? That's why when Henan would beat her, I kind of would smile and like, good for you, girl.
Yeah.
You know, because I felt like Serena deserved it. Michael Walker says Novak's very gracious in defeat. I agree. Novak is very gracious in defeat. You know, I think Federer is very gracious in defeat. as
Well, Federer will cry on
and
you.
so Nadal.
Federer will
They
start
do
crying.
give credit to their opponents.
Yeah.
There's not one player I can think of that, even Nick Kyrgios, when he loses, he'll say, you know,
Yeah.
well, he played better. What else you want me to say?
Yeah. And look, Roger Federer is the type of athlete or player that will, instead of, as soon as he gets the microphone, he automatically says, and so does Djokovic, hey, before I would like to thank my opponent and their team. You know, you produced a great product and it was great.
And you should always say that.
Yeah. But Serena,
She won't play.
No mention.
I agree with you.
Tomljanovic, who? She just got beat by her.
She
but
barely shook her hand. It was salty.
Yeah,
It was definitely
exactly.
salty. I was watching the when they shook hands, and I'm like, man, you know, most Serena would have actually hugged her and say thank you. For
Agreed, Stephanie. Yes, Novak is way more classy than.
Ryan says I don't think it's good for her to keep looking at the rearview mirror at 41. She needs to be a mom. I agree. The time is ticking to have babies, more babies.
I don't think she does that though. That's too much work for her.
Justin, she has all the money in the world to have another child.
But she's 40.
She says she wants to be a mom again. My mom was like 42, 43.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay. I have asked Carla for a sixth child many times. And you know, when she was still in her 30s.
No, you didn't. We had Justin.
Okay, you want to have a sixth child?
Why would you want to have a sixth child,
Why
Justin?
not?
Are you going to take care of the child, Justin? Or is
Yeah.
it me that's going
I
to take
got
care of
5 already. Why
it? You
would I?
never change diapers.
Oh, that makes me throw up.
I'm going to tell you something.
Ugh.
I'm the one that stays up when they're sick. He sleeps in the bed. Why would I want to go through that by myself?
Because it's fun.
No. No. If you were the type that would get up and stay awake,
Then you do it.
but you're not.
I'll sign a
You
contract.
don't change diapers. You don't do any of that. It's me. So therefore, I say no.
All right. Anyway.
Sorry.
I'm just at this point. No. But the topic has
Don't you
come up
want to
earlier.
live life?
We are living life.
We got to raise Justin and we're going to have energy for another one?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You're taking that away from them.
All right.
Just saying.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
No.
No. Yeah, look.
She's got one. She needs a second one. She's got one. There's 5 here.
Do you think Alex Ohanian is going to want to do that?
Mm.
To me, when I see her husband in the audience, I feel like he is, he's nervous. He seems nervous to me. He seems like not comfortable. Do you, am I just alone on this one? He just seems out of place.
Well, I don't think everyone likes the camera on him.
Well, he's a billionaire.
But he doesn't have the camera on him. He's not a good looking dude.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I think she wants to be a mom. She can make so much money with all her endeavors, and
I do like the
she
story.
can make her jewelry and her clothes. I like her clothes actually. I think she has a good, take on fashion. It's different. And I looked at her jewelry line. If I could afford it, I would buy it.
I like Van Lee's
I like
comment.
her shoe
Nadal is
style.
like Frankenstein.
I was looking at her Air Force Purple just because I think they would sell out. If I bought one and held on to them.
Were you able to find those for sale? The
Yeah.
Air Force One purples?
Yeah, I did.
Are they affordable?
Yeah.
Yeah. Stupid.
But I'm
And
just
get 'em
saying.
to
I'm
wear.
just saying. I think for her, it would be a smart thing to. Tennis is done. It's gone. There's younger girls half my age.
Wait a minute. I did. One night you were asleep, and you had showed me that she had an Air Force One kind of collaboration, and I found white ones with the zipper, but I didn't see the purple ones.
I found them. Bentley said, "No, that was like Frankenstein, so banged up."
That's what I said.
My daughter said, "Mom, the dog is bald. Oh my God." I said, "Yeah, I feel like he should just shave his head like Andrew Agassi did. It might be a good look for him for all we know."
Maybe so.
Yeah, I agree with Bentley. She was salty. She could have won that match. Nadal aged really badly. I agree. It's all that sun. I was telling some of my students, I'm like, you guys go out there and do sunbathe. You think that's good for your skin? Hell no.
Yeah. Like bacon.
I'm like,
You're
look,
cooking yourself
I'm
like
like, you
bacon.
want spots on your face? I go, really?
Worse than that. Look, on my face, I've had three basal cell carcinomas. Actually, one was a squamous cell and the other 2 were basal cells. And I had to go get this thing called a Mohs surgery. I did a video of one. It's on a playlist here. It's by itself. Justin's Mohs surgery. So I had this lump on my nose right here. And so I go to a dermatologist. My dad saw it. He was like, "Man, you need to go get that checked out." So I went and got it checked out. He was with me. They biopsied it. The dermatologist called me back like within 48 hours and was like, "Hey, you need to schedule your Mohs surgery immediately." So I had to go.
Serena's been done.
And so Mohs surgery, it's local anesthesia, so you're not totally out, but they kind of deaden you out, and they start carving pieces of skin out of your face. And then they bring it to a microscope to make sure the margins are clean. And so my margins weren't clean. They remove a little bit more, and they would go back to the microscope, and the margins weren't clean. Anyway, and finally they got it. But the amount of swelling that is involved after you have your face carved up is awful. My whole head was like a basketball, black and blue stitches. I had stitches from the corner of my eye all the way down my cheek because of a little lump that was growing underneath the skin. Be careful with the sun. That thing will hurt you. And not only hurt you, it'll kill you. Okay? I wear a huge straw hat when I coach now. Huge straw hat, right?
Yeah.
You all right?
I'm tired.
Okay.
I'm here for an hour.
Okay, we've done a good show. I feel the positive energy. Let's squash the Nick Kyrgios Medvedev match. Who do you think wins?
I think
Honestly.
Nick has a good chance. I think the crowd will be behind him.
I think Medvedev's wins it in straight sets. Look,
I disagree with you. Let's find out. So far, I've been right. I think that Nick will win that in 4.
and
Want to
look,
make a bet? Nick 4, no more shoes.
well,
no
no,
more buying shoes.
I already have a bet with Mike Walker.
No more buying shoes.
There's only 3 more pairs of shoes I
No
want.
more buying shoes for me. Don't waste your money
as long
on
as
shoes.
I get
for
the
me.
3 pair I want.
Don't buy me any more shoes. I'm tired of the shoes.
There's 3 more pairs of shoes I need.
Let's
to
make a
complete-
bet.
to
You're not
complete my
buying me any
collection.
more shoes.
I want a
Seriously, a girl's dream is not shoes. You got it all wrong, baby.
okay. I want a pair of Jordan 3s,
I'd
a
rather,
special colorway.
I'd rather save money
I want a
than
pair.
buy a pair
I want a
of
pair
shoes.
of bread 4s, Jordan bread 4s, the black and red. I want that pair. They go for a lot. So, and the last one is I want a pair of Flu Game 12s. So I want Flu Game 12s, bread 4s, and then a pair of like Wolf Gray 3s, and then I'm set. My collection is done. Okay.
Again, I'd rather save money. I'm going to my son's graduation.
Well, fair enough. Let's keep working. We'll be all right.
I keep working.
Okay, look, I hope Kyrgios wins, because if he wins, and laughingly, I got the betting odds all jacked up. Somehow I thought the odds were way more than not, but now that I looked at it, I feel like an idiot. But if Kyrgios wins the tournament, then Mike Walker and I split $400, right? 200.
So he could buy more shoes.
Yeah, definitely. But no, the shoes I want, the bread 4s are like $600, maybe if you're lucky.
Oh my god.
The Flu Game 12s, the same, and then I can get a pair of 3s just on a random sneakers release or GOAT release for probably 300. But the bread 4s and the Flu Game 12s, that's a different story. It's gonna be tough to find those under
Coco
$500,
has a
$600.
boyfriend. That's not good.
Who dropped that knowledge?
I didn't know.
If Coco wins, her boyfriend will affect the direction of her career. Let's go, Van Lee. Really? Isn't that what happened to Naomi Osaka when her boyfriend flipped us the middle finger after we watched her win it? Do you remember that? And I went on a rant about that. Okay, I see Carla fading.
I'm tired.
Carla is fading. Okay, well, a last couple things and we'll let Carla fade. Do you think it's not good when she fades because she starts yelling at me for no reason?
That's not true.
Yeah, it's very
just
true.
noticed.
She yells at me for no reason anyway.
You know, I don't think that Serena should ever be salty against Venus. That's her sister. If she beat you, then you know you would think your sister. You would be happy for her.
Mike Walker says it really pissed me off. What pissed him off?
That he said that Serena was salty when Venus beat her at Wimbledon 2008. I mean, can you imagine how Venus felt every time her sister beat her? She never showed bad emotions.
But Venus beat her at first.
Yeah, but Venus never showed bad emotions towards Serena. I never remember Venus being looking like she was upset. She was happy for her sister. That's how you should be. That's love, brotherly, sisterly love, right?
Yeah, and Alani says a comment. He was good losing even to Nadal in the 2000s.
Yeah, I think that Federer only had a problem with Novak. That's
Yeah.
always been his problem.
Yeah. And look, Federer, do you remember the Wimbledon, I think it was 2009, maybe 2008, where they were in a 5th set, the sun was going down, they were trying to decide if the match was going to move forward to the next day, and Nadal ended up winning it in the 5th set. You guys remember this epic match, right? Do you feel like Roger Federer was super happy and super friendly with Nadal after that match? I think their friendship blossomed after the fact that Federer realized that he couldn't handle his one-handed backhand with Nadal's heavy topspin.
I think Federer and Nadal have always been fine. I think his problem has always been Novak.
I don't think they were too friendly during that matchup.
Whatever.
I don't think they were too friendly during that matchup.
Nick is gonna win. Medvedev is not playing well. Looks to be lacking confidence. That's what Van Lee said.
Look, Medvedev, I think, has too much.
All right, let's see who's the better person here, me or him, as far as predicting.
I think it's been pretty even this tournament.
I predict Nick will win that.
I think Medvedev will win it, even though I have money on Kyrgios. So understand that I think that Kyrgios has a genuine shot. Understand I want him to win, so Mike Walker and I can have a couple $100 in our pocket.
I feel like Nick really hasn't been challenged, have you?
Look, I think the only person
Neither has Medvedev.
The only person I think can challenge Nick when he's on the court against anybody outside of the top 5 is himself. Medvedev, on the other hand, just won the tournament. He gets off on He gets off.
One which tournament?
Medvedev won the U.S. Open. He won it last year.
There's never been a repeat.
Did you forget this?
There's never been a repeat winner.
Roger Federer won the U.S. Open like 4 years in a row.
Mike Walker. When's the last time we had?
Oh my gosh.
This dummy.
Roger Federer won the U.S. Open multiple times.
I
was there 2 years in a row.
Justin, when's the last time we had a repeat winner?
Federer.
How long?
Like 2007 and 8. I know for a fact because I was there.
2007 and 8. We haven't had.
Man, you're talking out of your ass, girl.
We're in 2022. That's like me saying I used to have cool ass hair in 2007.
I just got dumber after
But
that
now
shit.
I don't have cool hair.
I just got dumber. I am now dumber than I was before you said
0408. We're in 2022. Are you living in the
that.
past?
Let's go, Ryan Mason. But you
live-
just said there has never been
There
one.
hasn't.
There was just one.
I never said never.
Not only one, but a 4-peat.
There hasn't been.
Hmm.
Just like me. Let's say you go back living back in the.
This is like me thinking I was going to win 40 grand on Kyrgios.
Justin. There hasn't been a U.S. Open repeat in a long, long time. There's no way Medvedev's winning that again. All right, I'm going to bed,
I'm
guys.
just kidding.
Good night. Seriously, this guy's an idiot.
But I'm just telling you.
When's the last time? When did she always tells you that?
All right. Well, you said there had never been. I'm just
There
telling you.
hasn't definitely been in a long time. 2007, 8, 2007, that's history, brother. That's history.
But you didn't say
That's
that.
when
You
the-
said had
That's
never.
way in the past. That's like me saying, yeah, I won this tournament this time.
Does anybody
That
want?
shit's way in the past.
Do you want to
We're in
rewind this shit?
22.
Rewind it and tell me she didn't just say that. Rewind it. She just said there has never been a repeat.
2022. We haven't had a repeat winner.
It's like The Rock. Let me tell you what the one
You're telling me Medvedev's gonna do that when you bitch about his freaking ballers?
I'm not saying he is. I'm just telling you I think Medvedev will win, even though I hope Kyrgios does because I have money on it.
He's not gonna win the US Open.
Okay, enough said. I think Medvedev wins in straight sets.
Yeah, no.
I'm not betting on it. I already bet on Kyrgios, but I'm telling you, don't be surprised.
I'm not.
Okay.
There's no surprise there.
Last thing, Ons Jabeur. Okay, Ons Jabeur could, and I think eventually will be, I don't know, time is taking, could be the first lady from the continent of Africa, correct me if I'm wrong, Tunisian woman, to ever win a major.
Nah.
Ons Jabeur will have to go through Coco Gauff to get there.
Nah.
If Coco Gauff and Ons Jabeur meet up,
Nah.
who wins that match?
Nah.
Who?
Golf.
Did you hear what I said?
Golf wins.
Gauff wins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jabeur is not fit enough to win. It would be a pity if she won.
All
I'd be
right.
like, damn, that's how a tennis professional looks? No.
All right, let's go golf. I hope you take it, even though I won't be upset if Jabeur wins because I really would love to see someone from continental Africa win a major. I'm going to run down these and we're done. Matches, 4th round matches, beginning of the second week. Who wins? Match number 1, Zhang and Gauff. Who you got? Agreed. Next match, Caroline Garcia against Allison Risk.
I'm gonna go for the American risk.
Well, I would go with her too as well, but I think Garcia will win.
I'll go for risk.
Okay, Ons Jabeur against Kudermetova.
I think Jabeur will win that.
Agreed. Okay, Samsonova against Tomjanovic.
From Jonovich.
Agreed. Okay, next up, hold on, let me get my papers right. Okay, by the way, Swiatek and Davis haven't finished. I may have missed it. Nimier and Zhang haven't finished. Did Pliskova beat Bencic?
Yes.
Okay, good job, Pliskova. I have you going to the final and winning it. Cornet and Collins and Burrell and Sabalenka. Those were matches we did not write in before tonight's
I think
show.
Sabalenka won.
Okay. Tomorrow's match is on the men's side. Let's roll. Okay. Who won between Sinner and Nakashima?
They're playing right now.
Okay. Ivashka beat the remaining one-handed. So we had Gasquet that lost to Nadal, and we had Musetti, the Italian one-hander. They both lost today. There are no one-handed backhands left in this tournament. None. Men's side and women's side. Is it because they don't want to and they're lazy? No, it's just because it doesn't work that well anymore. We want to win and not get pounded. Ask Roger Federer. Did Marin Cilic beat Evans?
Yes.
Okay, so Cilic is going to play Alcaraz next.
Tough match.
Who wins that?
Alcaraz.
I think Cilic wins it from experience.
No, he didn't beat him last time.
Cilic will beat Alcaraz.
No.
Cilic will beat Alcaraz. Take it to the bank. Bet on it. Don't stress out and watch it. Just bet on Cilic and go to sleep and wake up and collect your money.
All right.
Cilic beats Alcaraz.
Yeah.
Okay. Cam Norrie, Snorri as we call him. Cam Norrie. Oh man. Is Norrie done playing yet? Okay. Against the Catman himself, Andrei Rublev. Who you got?
Rublev.
All day. Rublev's gonna look. If Norrie wins, great. But I'm gonna be asleep snoring during that match. Okay, the next match I think is another popcorn match. You mentioned that Kyrgios Medvedev was a popcorn match. I think Rafa Nadal against Tiafoe will be a popcorn match. Now, I granted, I think Nadal will just smoke him. But at the same time, Tiafoe has a good energy about him, and I think it makes it popcornable. Okay, fair enough. And I think that's it, my lovely Carla. My
Good, I
lovely
get to
thing.
go to bed.
Oh, there's a couple more. Carreno Busta against Karen Khachanov. Who you got?
Khachanov.
I have Khachanov on my team alone.
Khachanov is not Khachanov.
I got him on my team. Let's go. Remember, I'm being humble, but JD1 right here is in first place on fantasy, even though I'm not going to win. So if I finish first, the second and third people will win the prize. Davidovich Fokina is playing Berrettini. Who you got there?
Berrettini.
You care less about watching that match. Don't care for either player. Not personally, just their game. And the last one, Mute against Casper Ruud. The player that I mentioned was great 4 years ago on the show, and all of you laughed at me. All of you. And he made a French Open final, and here he is in the 4th round of the U.S. Open.
Who cares?
But what do I know? I
You don't know shit.
I know I married you, and you're hot.
Thank you. I'm tired, man.
All right,
I'm done.
guys, we love you. Tomorrow,
I'm done, guys.
tomorrow, Sunday, we'll do a show. We will be here tomorrow, so we got to do our grocery shopping and do all that stuff, and we will do a show mañana. How do you say thank you so much?
Muchas gracias. Nos vemos mañana. Adios.
We will see you tomorrow night.
Good night, guys.
Peace.
I'm done.